Now that we have our asset types created, let's go ahead and create our assets. Now, before I leave this view of the tank car asset type that we just created, let me just point out that on the right, you can see a tree view of the asset type that shows this asset type at the top and its children underneath. And just like you can see the attributes assigned to tank car on the left here, if I click on one of its children or grandchildren, its descendants, you will see the attributes of that descendant. Okay, let's go ahead and create our first asset. And once again, assets are created from the user section and not from the admin section. And I'm going to create my first asset of type tank. And I'll call this first asset, I'll give it an ID of tank underscore one, tank one, and it doesn't have any children. It is of group default, and I'm not going to worry about latitude and longitude. That actually will get assigned when I give it, or when I assign it to its parent. I can give it a description if I want to, and I'll give it a temperature to begin with of, let's say, um, 26. Sounds good. Create. Now I have that one asset. Now let's go ahead and create our next asset. And this one is going to be of type tank car. Its ID is going to be tank car 1. Label, again, let's use something human readable, tank car 1. It has a child, which is tank 1. And only children or assets that are of the type that could be children of this parent asset will even appear in this drop down menu. So tank 1 is a child that can actually belong to this parent. So it appeared and I chose it, and there it is. And I can give it an image. I'm going to assign it to the group default, and the location, let me just make it, I don't know, 30 and minus 97. So that's in Austin somewhere, more or less. Actually, I should say somewhere in Central Texas, more or less. And there's no additional attributes. So if I hit create, now I see that I have an asset called tank car, and its tree has tank 1 as a child. And so if I click on tank 1, I'll see its attributes. In fact, I can actually see the attribute. The 26 Celsius for tank 1 does appear here. And if I click on tank 1, now I actually see the direct attributes of tank 1. So now that we have an asset and an area, there's a lot we can do with setting up rules and having events generated and actions being taken. We'll start doing all of that subsequently.